views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow, everybody, welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show. For those of you that have been tuning us in and turning us on, welcome back. For those of you that are just tapping into this hour of the show, it's great to have all of you here. A big shout out to Mr. Benny. Hello, Mr. B.
What up?
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Always.
Feeling pretty good today.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm just feeling it.
Oh, both of us. I thought you just meant me.
I know. I was just telling my very special guest today, all of a sudden I'm noticing I'm like losing weight. And it's like, okay, well, what are you doing differently? Am I like hitting it at the gym? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? And we're going to talk about that today because, you know, what is it that I've changed in the past couple of months? And how is it now that all of a sudden, you know how we say, Benny, wow, that weight just crept up on me there, just creeping up on me. Well, I have a different story. Losing that weight has been creeping up on me, and I think I have a reason for it. Today, I want to just say to everyone, we're so thrilled to be partnering with the Maca team. Maca, M-A-C-A. Write that down. The Maca team. Write that down. Because I am so thrilled that we have been, and you folks are loving the product. I am so thrilled that we have been working with Mark and the folks at the Maca team, because today we're going to remind everyone who has not heard us in previous show, what is Maca, but what are the benefits of Maca for women? And I was telling Mark about what my experience has been, and we'll talk about that on the show. But Mark is joining me here today for one of the most important conversations I think we've had to date about Maca and the Maca team and what this is about, why this family business is so committed to save Peruvian maca, what it is. But most importantly, how can this food, how can maca, just adding a little bit to what we eat each day, how does it change our body's configuration? How does it get our body to be actually more effective? And all of the above. Whether it is looking at our skin tone or looking at how we feel or thyroid health or even mental focus. The question I get asked a lot these days is, man, you know, how are you doing it all? Well, first of all, I've got a great team of people. But secondly, I want to thank the Maca team because the introduction of this high-grade quality food in my life has made an enormous difference, and we're going to talk about that today. My very special guest joining me here today, Mark Ament. Mark, great to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dr. Pat. Great to be here.
Well, we're going to talk about this, benefits of maca for women, and I really didn't think about it. You know, I didn't really think about, okay, well, first and foremost, I am a woman, but I didn't really think about the answer to that question until someone asked me and said, man, you're like the Energizer Bunny. You know, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And today we're going to address that question, aren't we?
We are, yeah. I think it's a great topic, and you know, there are what's kind of really neat about maca is that it works for both men and women, but it works differently a bit. It does have some similar effects for both men and women, but it does do different things typically for women than it would for men, and that's resulting primarily from maca's ability to support a healthy endocrine system or a healthy hormone balance. So those things that we're going to talk about today are specific to women, some of them, and I'll point those out, but not necessarily all of them. Like feeling energized, that's going to happen for men too. But I can imagine, that with your busy schedule and all the things you've got going on, that it's nice to have something like maca to energize you in a natural way that's not going to stress your adrenal glands and 3 hours later leave you crashing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, it's at first it was really subtle, and maybe we can talk about it. At first it was really subtle for me. It was kind of like, just feeling better. Like I'm not like at 7 o'clock at night, I'm not thinking about, how exhausted I am and so forth. But the other thing that I'm finding is that I'm getting clearer and clearer about some things in my life that seem to be a bit overwhelming. So I would love for you to kind of take us through this and talk about, what your experience is. What have women been able to demonstrate with this? Where would we like to start? There's so many places we could start.
There really are. Well, let's start at the beginning in a sense. Yeah. And that's the beginning of maca. And for those listeners who may be just tuning in, we'll just backtrack a bit in that maca is the highest food crop in the world. It's been grown for 2,000 years, and it comes from the high Andes in Peru and Bolivia, so above 13,000 feet. And this originally got discovered. It's a small root vegetable, so think radish, kind of along those lines. It originally got discovered because people living up in those elevations, the indigenous Inca population is what we'd call it, were noticing that the animals that ate that food, their livestock that ate maca, was more energetic, healthier, and had a higher fertility rate. So they were having more babies. So eventually this became something that the people tried themselves. And so going back to sort of bringing it forward, the fertility rate for people using maca is higher. In fact, in Peru,